back to Rhubarb Yoga, and as you can see today there is no chair. Yes, we are back to the mat. And today we're going to look at a sequence. We're going to look at Parigasana, gate pose, and we're going to do a flow using Parigasana as a way to open up the front of our body. Sometimes whether it's hot or cold, we feel quite reclusive and we want to curl up. And whether that is a protection that we're choosing to use, or we're just not feeling that we want to go out and experience contact with the open world around us. To open the front of the body gives us another viewpoint. It allows our lungs to expand fully and our breaths become deeper and richer too. And also it enables our body to open, expand and welcome. And using gate pose is not only just for the front of the body, it's going to open all along from the toes to the tips of the fingers. And the wonderful thing about this pose is it gets to many corners of the body that we don't even consider. We maybe need to reach, touch and let them know that we're there and we acknowledge them too. So with Parigasana, you may need, if you suffer from sensitive kneecaps, a little bit of a blanket or a small towel, just something to give you an extra bit of padding. I've got a mat, I've got my mat on top of it, but some people aren't lucky enough to have extra cushioning. And if you need more cushioning for yourself, please use your props. And you may need a block to enable the accessibility of some parts of the pose. If you have a shorter body dimension or you have any part of your body that doesn't quite reach, please use a brick. That means that you will just be able to access the pose more fully, feel more comfortable and reap the benefits in the best way for yourself today. So, looking at Parigasana, we come up to kneel, and this is where you're going to need your mat, an extra blanket if you do. So you can place it under the kneecaps, and that's all you're going to need it for, no other purpose. So with Parigasana, we need to make sure the hip bones are over the knees, so there's no leaning to one side or the other, causing any distress around the hip flexors and the pelvis and putting anything out of balance. And the most important thing here is alignment with Parigasana. So when we extend the side leg out, we need to ensure that the foot and the knee are parallel. Now your toes could be pointing outwards, or your foot could be turned with the toes pointing towards the long edge of the mat. And that is your own personal preference. Either way, the best thing to make sure that you are not doing is twisting. So we want to make sure the pelvis and hip bones are facing forward, as always, whether our toes are forward or out. And as you move through the pose, you may discover which way your toes prefer to be. And that is your body telling you. So please be a witness and listen, because it knows sometimes a little bit better than our own consciousness. So personally, I prefer my toes out, and by just coming into the initial pose, we're opening and accessing the groins, which are a valuable part of the body, enable keeping our legs strong and sturdy, but also gives our pelvis support too. So activating and opening the groins and giving some work there enables strength and flexibility. So coming into our gate pose, we're going to extend the arms out, ground the foot whichever way the toes are pointing today, look down and make sure the knee is directly under the hip bone too, so we're not tipping, we're not curving out, we're not arcing over. So take that breath. And as we breathe out, we're going to slide this arm down the leg. And this arm can raise, but let's ignore this at the moment. We're going to slide it down to where our body's saying, okay, I'm fine. And if you feel slightly balanced, tuck the back toes. That will give you like a kickstand, a little prop, just to stop you tipping and help you support this bent leg. So sliding the hand down the leg, breathing out, allowing the side laterals to really stretch open all the way through the IT joint, up along the laterals, into the intercostals of the ribs, maybe even into that armpit and up through the bicep and tricep too. Stretch out through that fingers of the top hand. Welcome the stretch. Imagine you're reaching for something there that you can almost touch but not quite. Breathing in, we're going to come back up. and this is where you may need your block. So have it here, and we're going to drop this arm down in line with the leg, in line with the foot. Coming over, keeping the other foot grounded and raising this arm up to come more perpendicular, allowing the shoulders to come into line with each other too. So this is where you'll discover if you need a block or not. And this is very possibly where you discover how your foot on the other leg is needing to turn or stay where it is. And gently push with that lower hand up, coming back up, using the pelvic floor, using the core to bring yourself upright again. And we're going to repeat and slide back over. On the exhale, allowing that perhaps sliding a little further, making sure we're keeping perpendicular, not curving out or curving back. And once again, we're going to come back down to the ground, and when we do, we're going to raise this leg. So hand in line with the knee. We're going to raise this as parallel as you can be to the ground, pushing through that foot, activating the thigh, keeping ourselves in a nice line. And as we push out through that foot, it helps us be strong. And we're now in a half standing moonrise, or Ardha Chandrasana. Again, we're feeling that opening along the centre of the body, pushing out through that heel, keeping that leg strong too. And then engaging the core, we're going to lower that foot back down, come back up again. Encourage that stretch and open that side of the body. And then one more time we're going to come back up to Ardha Chandrasana, but then we're going to go into a bind where we can hold the foot if we're feeling brave enough, and if we're not, be kind, not for you today. Coming up. Once you've got your balance, bend that leg, and even if you only bend that leg, that's enough. You're experiencing the sensation of that possible expansion. And then we move the arm back and hold the toes, or the ankle, or the shin if you've got beautiful long legs, and allow the body, the front of the body, to curve out, opening all the way from the kneecap along the thigh, through the psoas, up the hips, across the body, through the chest, to the throat. And don't tip the head back if it's not comfortable for you. But please breathe and allow this body to be comfortable. Push the foot into the hand to the foot to ensure that that is a secure and safe sensation for you. Gently bring that foot back down. Open the arms out. And then we're going to sit back onto that bent heel and come into a half child's pose adaptation. By then you may need it, the front thigh will definitely be telling you it's worked. Allow the hips to sink over that heel. Open and relax over the thigh that's bent. And with the side that isn't over the thigh, allow that to drop. And release a little bit, using gravity and breath. Okay, so, other side, making sure that we're balanced. Placing that brick there if we need it today. Adjusting our clothing, as that always happens in yoga, wherever you are. You'll always get a moment where everyone suddenly has to adjust their clothing. That's human nature. So expanding the leg out again, making sure that you're adjusting the foot to your own comfort, activating the groin, activate that thigh, get it working, ready, so it's going to be strong for you. Tuck the back toes of the leg back. If you need that prop, please put those toes under. Taking a breath. Experience the start of the pose. Be strong through the front knee. Activate that extended leg. Ground the toes and the foot into the floor. Taking another breath. Slide that arm down the thigh. Arm straight up. Check the alignment, making sure you're not curving out, arcing back. And both sides are always different. One side is definitely going to let you know it takes a little more work. Breathing in, coming up, and then we're going to come down using our block or not. Arm in line with the knee and the foot. Arm perpendicular to the arm on the ground. Adjust the body to make sure your alignment is safe. And keep yourself in your pose, being strong. The longer you're in the pose, adjust and find the point of comfort and discovery. Now breathing in, using the muscles, coming up. And slide back over again. You may discover that this second time you can curve over a bit further. Everything's starting to warm, ooze and stretch a little bit deeper today. Back over, then we're going to lift that leg, turning the foot, keeping it parallel. Push out through that heel, checking your alignment. Down, one more time. And with the flow, imagine you are the gate. You're swinging open in the wind, moving from one side to the other. Then bend that back leg. And if that's your depth today, that is good for you. Bend that top arm if you wish to go deeper. Hold the foot or the ankle or the shin. And then expand the foot into the hand into the foot, all the way along the thigh, up the hip and the pelvis, opening the psoas, into the core, up through the belly and the chest, into the bicep and the arm, and push that hand, hold that foot, and breathe, allowing that breath to open the chest as you continue. Gently release, foot down. Arms up, sitting back on that heel, walking forward to an expanded, adapted child's pose. And again, if you have the block, you could place the head on the block. If you need that extra couple of seconds to rest, the hands could be on the block to allow the shoulders to release as well. Or if you feel slightly unnerved about only being on one leg through your child's pose, your block could be supporting the opposite side. And that there too will work absolutely perfectly for you. It will give you enough support to feel that you can come forward. And allow that body to release over the front thigh, just for you. Okay, so I hope during that flow you found one point of ease at least. You began to understand, appreciate and enjoy some of the opening through that pose too. It can be an intensive shape at moments. Moving from your Parigasana into Ardha Chandrasana, into your half moonrise, can be quite unnerving. You are balancing on half of your body, one knee, one hand. So that requires concentration, patience and trust. And I hope you found those today. I hope you find some joy today too, and you enjoy whatever it is